Hey, it's Danielle, and the video you're about to see is actually something I put together a year ago. I don't know why, but I filmed it, edited it, and had it all ready a year ago, and for some reason never posted it. I think I just forgot, honestly, but it's actually really interesting to look back on, and I think there are some really important insights just knowing that exactly a year ago this all happened. We're going into Thanksgiving week, and I was actually coming home from visiting my family for Thanksgiving, which I will be doing this next Sunday. To set the scene, I'd just gone from doing 5 side gigs to getting a full-time job and doing a couple things on the side. I talk about that in the video, but the thing is, I did not know that there was a pandemic about to hit, and I would have been totally screwed. If I were doing all the gigs that I was doing before, those would have pretty much gone away, so the fact that I kind of followed my instinct with getting a full-time job was actually super important. And I have some really interesting insights to share after you see what I'm talking about in this video, so stick around till the end. Right now I'm heading home from visiting my family for Thanksgiving, and it's officially December, which means that, you know, I start to contemplate life, look back into the past, look forward into the future. And when I think about my career over the last year, it was very confusing. I started off last year with one job, and then started taking on one gig after another until I had about 5 different gigs, and then now I just got a new full-time job and doing 2 side gigs basically, and making a lot of decisions was kind of tiring and it required me to really think about what I want for the future and, you know, what I really care most about and what I really want for my life. And I learned a lot about, you know, spreading yourself too thin and figuring out how to really balance it all. And sometimes I felt so sure of, you know, this is what I'm going towards, and other times I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's life. But the thing is that honestly, those steps were required for me to feel the clarity that I have now. I obviously don't know what the future will hold, and I don't know exactly, you know, what the next 10 years of my life is gonna look like. Who does? But I feel like just going through that mess was actually the most helpful thing to making clear decisions for the next year. And this leads me to something that I think does not get talked about enough. And that is that no one really knows what they're doing. I listen to a lot of interviews, a lot of podcasts, and I hear a lot of people's life stories and career paths. And let me tell you something. Most of those people will mention in some way, shape, or form that, yeah, especially in my 20s, I really didn't know what I was doing. And they may have kind of stumbled into something great, or, you know, found their way into something they're really passionate about, or, you know, their true calling, but it was not as clean cut and perfect as it always turns out to be, you know, looking in hindsight. It's always easier to connect the dots looking backwards. And it's tough because in these interviews, you hear their success stories and you hear all the things that they created. Then there's like maybe some little comments like, oh yeah, and I had no idea what I was doing in my 20s. Okay, you know what? That one sentence isn't enough for me. Like, I want to know more about that. That's the stuff that really helps me make sense of things. Hearing that person's story, hearing actually inside their world when they were, you know, confused and were making tough decisions, that's like the best thing ever. And when I find an interview like this, let me tell you, I hold on for dear life. And I think in those moments where we hear somebody's story, when we hear about their experience, when they really had to figure it out and they didn't really know where things were going, that helps us feel like we can relate to somebody and that we're not the only one. The truth is that most of us are not that guy who knew he wanted to be a doctor at age 4, got his MD, and is just totally fulfilled right now. Most of us are just trying to figure it out. So for everyone else out there, I feel like inside we're desperately seeking answers to a couple important questions. One, what if I have no idea what I'm doing? And 2, how do I figure out what to do with my life? So I've posted a few different videos with specific exercises that I use that help me get clearer about what my future will look like and how to build towards that. But this chat is different. Instead of telling you exactly how to uncover those things, I think it's important to start somewhere else. Just admitting that it's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to be confused and just trying to figure it out and know that the process is messy. I think one of the most powerful beliefs that you can develop, especially when it comes to figuring your life out, is if I persist, I will succeed. And basically what that tells us is keep going, keep discovering, keep researching, keep testing, keep experimenting, and you will uncover the truth. It may come in little bits at a time, and you just kind of have to pull the pieces together and take one step at a time, put one foot in front of the other. And that's really what I've tried to do over the last year. And it didn't come without confusion or disappointment or discouragement or like rough times. It actually came with a lot of those, to be honest. I feel so glad that I actually took myself through that journey, that I actually made some changes and, you know, did what it took to just take that little next step. And I'm gonna keep doing that. So really the moral of the story with our nice reflective little mountain chat here is to say, keep going, and when you're feeling lost and you're feeling confused, know that you're in good company. Most of us are still figuring it out, so keep on going, and you're guaranteed to find out just a little bit more with each step about what your life is really going to look like.
Well, I hope you found that interesting. I'm actually wearing the same exact earrings that I was then, which is funny. I really haven't changed. I want to share what I found most interesting about watching that video back a year later, and that is that I talk about that you are gonna keep exploring, keep discovering, keep building your way forward, and you're just gonna kind of be in the process. And I am still in the process. I do have my full-time job, and I'm thankful for it since my gigs would have kind of disappeared when the pandemic hit. But I am still in the process. You will never just arrive and say, oh, I'm here, I can kind of settle in, and I'm done now. You're always gonna keep moving forward. Time always continues to move forward, and you're gonna keep uncovering new things about yourself, your strength set, what you really like, and the work you're really meant to do. So here I am a year later. I have not arrived, whatever the heck that means. I am still figuring it out, and I will continue to do so. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want more videos about career development and personal growth, please subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!